Hello and welcome back. We are in the fifth episode of CL Uni-Verse, and last four episodes we've spent with Venkatesh, and Venkatesh has been talking about ISB with us and how the admissions at the ISB happen and what are the profiles that get into it, and so on and so forth. Now, in this session, we are going to talk about whether ISB is just a hype or does it really pay off to be a part of ISB. Right. So with that, Venkatesh, welcome. I welcome you to the session.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So first question that I have is ISB really worth it in terms of the bang for the buck? Which means when a student gets in with a certain profile, and when he gets out and gets a placement, right? What is the kind of career progression that one can expect, one can look at, on the basis of the examples that you've seen so far?
Got it. Right. So one thing that I like to highlight on this particular front is that, and also translates to one of our conversations in the previous episodes, is that there's everything for that there's something for everybody, right? Since there are people from 2 years to 20 years of experience, right? When the placements happen, there are generally more than 250 companies who come on campus. Right. For the 900 people. In fact, in my year, class of 22, it was one of the maximum of 350 companies who had come to recruit from ISB.
Wow.
And therefore, the opportunities which come on campus, the kind of roles that come on campus are humongous, right? Therefore, say if a person joins with say 3 to 4 years of experience in marketing, right? As someone who has worked, say, on execution of digital marketing, marketing strategy, or they worked on, say, social media, right? For them to transition into a more strategy level marketing role, such as marketing manager, becomes quite viable.
Okay.
Right? Parallelly, someone might already be a marketing manager, and they might want to take a plunge into a, say, a chief marketing officer of a budding startup,
CMO position,
right? Yeah. So that also opportunity comes up. In fact, I remember that there were a couple of startups who had come for a CEO role at ISB, for a specific benchmark of experience and type of profiles.
Right.
So therefore, the plethora of opportunities for different kind of people exist, and therefore you can come in at an X position, and X plus position is where you would be able to get after ISB, and therefore that transition opportunity is quite good, I must say.
Okay. So now if we get into this discussion of what are the fees that one pays, what is the cost of studying at ISB, right, and what is the return vis-a-vis, right? So if you could throw some light on the fee structure first.
Sure.
And then we can go towards the ROI part of it.
Right. All right. So for the people who want to check out the exact fees and the split, आप लोग वेबसाइट पे जाकर के देख सकते हैं, राइट, ISB की वेबसाइट पे. बट जस्ट टू गिव अ बॉल पार्क फिगर, लगभग 35 to 40 lakhs of investment is needed, including tuition fees, accommodation fees, and the other aspects of the fees structure breakup, right? So that is the amount of total investment a person has to make. But I think, as you mentioned, that is there a return on investment that a person makes? So I would definitely say that yes, the ISB journey will transition you into a certain space where you will be able to get the best return on investment. Now, the return could be financial plus the kind of role that you're going into.
Right.
So I think for the viewers, it's very important to understand that not everything is just about the CTC. For that matter, a lot of people go into an MBA to kind of transition into different roles or industries altogether, right? And therefore, it has to be seen in a cumulative manner. That was the investment, able to get you the right kind of financial gains, as well as the kind of aim that you wanted to kind of target in terms of role, the kind of work that you wanted to do, right, or the kind of industry that you wanted to work in, right? Yeah.
Great. So I'm digressing a little bit here.
Yeah.
But in your post course era, how much does a brand help again in terms of the ROI?
Right.
And how?
The brand of ISB, you mean?
Brand
right?
of ISB.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely, right. I think it's a question a lot of people who are aspiring to get into ISB ask me. So Of course, there's a institutionalized placement process, and therefore a lot of opportunities will occur when you are at ISB, and it's all taken care of by ISB, and ISB kind of guarantees you at least one job with a minimum threshold of a CTC as well. So all of those things are there. But post ISB, as an alum, the idea is that that brand itself gets you a foot in the door on many occasions.
Right.
And in fact, I remember, and just to give an anecdote of an example from my year, there was a very close friend of mine who got placed in a product manager role, and that person was having 8 years of experience, got into a SPM or a senior product management role. Just before joining the role, right, the organization for some XYZ reasons rescinded the offer of to the 2-3 people who were about to join. Okay. Right now, that obviously would be a very big setback for anyone. That you're about to join an organization, the company has said that we can't take you anymore. Right. And this is way past the placement process and graduation. In fact, ISB, in fact, because of this, ISB takes care of such cases also in terms of getting an offer to the student. Wow. So because they have guaranteed that that you will get one placement from from us, and therefore even after the graduation they helped the person get one job, and right. Apart from that, from the network of alumni itself, the person had 3 other jobs in the next 1 week. Oh wow. And in fact landed a better job than what the person had before with a greater CTC right. and a more senior position. Wonderful. And it was all because of obviously ISB's intrinsic support from the placement committee, but also from the network of alumni who then recommend you, refer you, and then you basically can get through. So I'm sure that is very nice to hear for the audience who is so concerned when they hear 40 lakh, 35, 40 lakh as a money. So now that you said that a student spends 35 to 40 lakh, right? And we've been talking about what kind of benefits a student can get. Now if we get to the numbers. Yeah. And we talk about specific industry or specific companies or specific profiles, right? And what does a student, what yield a student can expect out of it? Got it. Right? If you could throw some light on that. Sure. Right. So I think before we get into the numbers, one nuance I like to mention is that because different companies come for different set of roles. So say a McKinsey, Bain or BCG could come for a senior associate, a consultant, or a senior consultant role as well. Right. So therefore, different people with different experience might get different range of salaries within the same firm. Absolutely. Right. So that is something which I like to bring to perspective, that it's not that for everyone there's only one role a company is coming for, and therefore the number of offers per role, the CTC of a role could vary. Right. But largely, if you look at the average CTC since the last 2-3 years of ISB, it's been around 34 or 35 lakhs per annum. Right. Right. Which is pretty good. Right. If you look at functions or industry wise as well. So, like for instance, be it consulting, be it BFSI, the average CTCs have been in the ballpark figure of around 33 to 35 lakhs per annum itself. Wow. Right. Okay. And one of the standouts I remember is, I think, IT sector, in which it's on the side of around 43 or 44 lakhs per annum. So as an average CTC. Now, but the larger picture being that across the different industries, be it finance, marketing, product management, the range of the average range is somewhere around 30 to 36 lakhs per annum, okay. which is pretty good for a person who is coming into ISB and expecting a good jump in the salary eventually. Yeah. Okay. So now that we've talked about what are the fees and what are the kind of returns one can expect, I'm sure the audience would love to hear some cases. Okay. So for example, some particular, I'm sure you cannot take the names, but of the students, but some of your friends or some of your people around you who've got specific companies or profiles at a certain CTC. Right. Could you just share those numbers? Right. Sure. So, right, talking about some of the organizations like, say, the big three of consulting, the MBB, McKinsey, Bain, BCG, right? So the range of CTC, because of different roles that they come for, would be somewhere between say 32 lakh per annum till upward of say 60 lakhs per annum. So it could kind of range between that, depending upon the role. जिस particular role में उनको peg किया जाता है वहाँ पे eventually. अगर हम प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट में देखें, राइट, सो देयर बहुत सारी स्टार्टअप्स हैं जो आपके 25 लाख पर एनम से लेकर के 40 लाख पर एनम के बीच में आपके प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर रोल के लिए ऑफर करते हैं. बहुत सारे सीनियर प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर रोल के लिए आते हैं, एंड देन वहाँ पे रेंज हो सकता है आपका 35 लाख पर एनम से लेकर के से 55 लाख पर एनम का भी हो सकता है. नाउ थोड़े नुआंसेस इसमें भी होता है कि सीटीसी का क्या डेफिनेशन है, क्योंकि फिक्स कंपोनेंट होता है, वेरिएबल कंपोनेंट होता है, तो हर कंपनी का अलग अलग रहता है.
एंड आई एम श्योर हर कैंडिडेट के लिए भी वो चेंज होता है डिपेंडिंग ऑन हिज और हर प्रोफाइल.
एग्जैक्टली. सो सबके अलग अलग नुआंसेस होते हैं. बट एक चीज जो मैं आई थिंक जो आई लाइक टू हाईलाइट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंटली इज दैट सीटीसी ऑब्वियसली इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर, काफी इंपॉर्टेंट रहता है लोगों के दिमाग में. बट people should also understand that ISB has one of the most flexible norms in placement policies. And therefore at a time एक समय पे एक इंसान के पास मल्टीपल ऑफर्स हो सकते हैं, अनलाइक मेनी ऑफ द अदर कॉलेजेस जहां पर एक बार आपको एक ऑफर मिलता है, यू आर आउट ऑफ प्लेसमेंट प्रोसेस, राइट. सो आई रिमेंबर आई हैड 3 डिफरेंट ऑफर्स इन माय टाइम. देयर वर पीपल हु हैड 5 डिफरेंट ऑफर्स एक साथ में, देन उनको चूज करने का ऑप्शन मिलता है. ऑन एन एवरेज रेंजिंग फ्रॉम अबाउट 2 ऑफर्स पर पर्सन टिल अबाउट 3.5 ऑफर्स पर पर्सन का ओवर द इयर्स रहा है. मेरे को अपने समय में याद है अराउंड 2.5 या 2.7 ऑफर्स पर पर्सन का नंबर आया था.
ओके.
सो विच इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट दैट आपको ऑप्शंस भी मिल रहे हैं. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ सीटीसी आपको एक पकड़ा दिया गया कि ये आपको ये है, यही जॉब आपको ले लेनी है.
राइट.
यू गेट ऑप्शंस एंड देयरफॉर यू कैन चूज फ्रॉम देम आल्सो.
Okay. So before we come to a conclusion of this episode, one question that I can think of is, I'm sure there are some people who are more successful than the others. I'm not saying successful, not successful, but कुछ और ज़्यादा successful होते हैं. वो डिफरेंस कहाँ से आता है, and what should a person do about it?
Right. See, though obviously success, failures, ये सब चीजें बहुत subjective हो जाती हैं. Because
absolutely
for someone getting the same amount of salary as they came in, right? Because already they were getting paid well, right? But the fact that उन्होंने अपना function ही change कर दिया, अपना role change कर लिया, अपना horizon बढ़ा लिया, अपने आप को upskill कर लिया, is itself success, right? So I don't think I like to talk about numbers कि भाई किसने इतनी percentage hike ले ली, किसने इतनी percentage hike ले ली, and I will therefore would kind of not want to talk about success failure on
वहाँ नहीं जाते.
But rather what I would say is कि because it's such a competitive environment that you get into ISB, चाहे वो grades हो, चाहे वो case competitions हो, चाहे वो आपका international exchange opportunities हो, right? So one has to be on their toes. You can't take things for granted. That is what I would like to kind of tell our viewers, that एक बार एडमिशन हो जाता है तो ये नहीं सोचना है कि अब तो सब कुछ ऑटो मोड हो जाएगा, पहुंच गए, राइट. यू हैव टू मेक इवन मोर एफर्ट्स. इनफैक्ट आई वुड से जितना कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी आपके एडमिशन प्रोसेस या जीमैट लिखने में होती है, उससे 10 गुना ज्यादा आपको डिफिकल्टीज आएंगी असाइनमेंट्स करने में, ग्रेड्स लाने में, इन एन एनवायरनमेंट जहाँ पे सब लगे हुए हैं कि अच्छा ग्रेड्स लाएं या फिर अच्छा परफॉर्म करें इन डिफरेंट केस कॉम्पिटिशंस. So, जो आप जिसे failure बोल रहे हैं, basically what I would rather say is that not meeting their own potential would happen if you take things for granted and don't make an effort from your end to say do well, learn new things, grow as an individual, right? And think that चीजें अपने आप आपके ऊपर सर होके आ जाएंगी. So that is what I would like to kind of
perfect.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very good note to end this session, because don't take things for granted. Right, आप कहीं पहुंच गए हो तो वो पहुंचे नहीं हो, that's still a journey, not a destination. I think that works everywhere,
right? And
it does work with ISB also. I hope you guys start your journey soon too. With this, we come to the end of the episode, 5th episode, and thank you so much, Venkatesh. I'm not even tired of telling you how I enjoy talking to you. Right. With this, we come to the next episode. The next episode is going to talk about how consultants can help you shape your destiny. आप किससे help ले सकते हो, कैसे help ले सकते हो, and how can you hence make sure you get into ISB, right? For any queries that you might have, the link is in the description below. Like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next episode.